This was hopeless. So rather embarrassingly, we had to ask the man we'd murdered to give us a hand.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times Top Gear crossed the line.
James was deposited gently on the bank.
If you are a homosexual and you want to know about cars, write to Richard Hammond. No!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're going to be looking at the times where the car show took their jokes too far by offending many and causing a bit of chaos. And no, not all the entries involved Jeremy Clarkson. Let us know in the comments what Top Gear moments had you shaking your head at the TV screen. Number 10, Falklands number plates.
Who's that lot in the car park, James? Do you know?
As you're about to see, it's not uncommon for the show to anger a country, but maybe not like this. The crew were filming a special in Patagonia when it was brought to their attention that Clarkson's car had a number plate that was seen by Argentinian locals as a deliberate reference to the Falklands War.
James, please keep your face back.
You've seen the vehicle there with the flag and all that kind of stuff, and we're getting, there must be about 10 or 15 in the foyer just now.
Towards the end of the episode, the producers had a plan in place to change the number plates, but before they had the chance, they were attacked by a mob of war veterans, which targeted several team members whilst the 3 stars hid in their hotel room.
We have just been ordered out of Tierra del Fuego, ordered out of effectively Argentina.
Everyone involved in the show maintains that the number plate was merely a coincidence. Number 9, quintessential German car. Top Gear and Germany have had a fractured relationship over the years, with constant reminders of the war and the infamous Battle of the Car Shows episode.
It's a German car, French engine of course, but they've decided to make it British. They've wanted to give it something quintessentially British.
Yet, during a news segment, Clarkson overstepped the mark.
No, what they've done is fit it with some teaspoons and tea bags.
After inspecting a car that the Germans modified to be quintessentially British, with the only feature being a tea set, Jeremy remarked that the Brits should make a car that was quintessentially German, with features that, as usual, referred to the war.
Give it trafficators that go like that. A sat-nav that only goes to Poland.
The comments gained negative attention from the German government, but the complaints were rejected by the Board of Governors at the BBC. Number 8, Albanian boot test.
It is quite traditional when you bring a car back like that you drive it around with the door locks pulled out, and sometimes little marks along the back of the door.
The flagship BBC programme went to Albania to test out some cars that might be of use to the Albanian mafia. Whilst to many this episode was a light-hearted take on the country, there was one incident that certainly tipped a few over the edge.
And we reckon that when someone from the Albanian mafia is choosing a new car, uppermost in his mind will be this: can I get a dead body in the boot?
The presenters wanted to find out which of 3 boots could hold a local that they just murdered, which didn't go down well with some people.
3, 2, 1, and up.
No, it's not working.
It's just
Ofcom received 600 complaints for the episode as it was criticised for its stereotypical views on Albania, claiming it is a nest for mafia car thieves. Number 7, slogans on cars.
We've all done a good job here, but I do believe that the person most likely to be shot is indeed Hammond.
During the America road trip, the trio were always walking along a tightrope, whether it would be calling all Americans overweight or driving into a crocodile-infested river. However, they ended up falling off the rope when the producers instructed them to paint slogans on their cars to draw maximum attention from the locals of Alabama.
I'll be honest, I have felt less conspicuous than this.
When the guys needed to refuel, they were greeted by an angry woman who called a group of rednecks to chase the Top Gear convoy.
Rocks started pelting our vans.
Stones were thrown at the vans, and cameras had to be turned off altogether as the crew were hounded out of Alabama. Number 6, donuts are on the cenotaph.
Oh, Canary Wharf!
As you can imagine, the new era of Top Gear is less represented in this list compared to the previous one. However, whilst filming the first series of the new Top Gear, hosts Matt LeBlanc and Chris Evans found themselves in hot water for a segment they filmed with stunt driver Ken Block.
Did you know that it's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament, so maybe be careful.
The former Friends star was being shown around London with donuts around the iconic cenotaph included in the tour. Whilst it was approved by the Westminster Council, fans criticised the show for the stunt, saying it was disrespectful to those who lost their lives during the war.
Does Winston approve?
Host Chris Evans apologised, stating that, in hindsight, the scene wouldn't have gone ahead. Number 5, Are You Mental?
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Richard Hammond!
Richard Hammond's near-fatal crash was one of the low points in the history of Top Gear, but after a miraculous recovery, he returned to the studio to greet his colleagues. Obviously, because this is Top Gear, it couldn't be a subtle entrance, so the guys organised a confetti-filled red carpet bonanza.
This is the big question I guess everybody wants to know. You ready? Are you now a mental?
After the applause had died down, Clarkson asked the hamster if he was still the same person, whilst May grabbed a tissue in case his colleague had an accident.
That's all I've had for 4 months.
What, tissues?
No, people hanging around just watching, waiting for my eyes to point in different directions.
This prompted many to complain to Ofcom, and whilst the BBC issued a statement saying the comments were intended as a joke, they apologised as they could see how people were offended. Number 4, Lorry drivers.
Come on! Spin! Yes!
As you can already tell, this list is dominated by Clarkson, who always seemed to be in the headlines when he was the host of Top Gear. The first show of Series 12 featured the guys taking part in a series of challenges in lorries.
What matters to lorry drivers? Murdering prostitutes?
And fuel economy.
Fuel economy.
Breakfast.
During the episode, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire presenter remarked that lorry driving is a hard job due to endless gear changes and murdering prostitutes.
Change gear, change gear, change gear, check your mirrors, murder a prostitute, change gear, murder.
The joke wasn't well received by everyone as Ofcom was hit with 500 complaints. In typical Clarkson fashion though, he refused to apologise for the comments and instead said sorry for not posting a lap time of a car in a previous episode. Number 3, the wonky bridge.
You're assuming that they think we all look the same because we think they all look the same. I don't think
Now
they
you're
all look
making a leap there.
During the Burma special, the presenters were challenged to build a bridge across the River Kwai in honour of the film Bridge Over the River Kwai. After travelling hundreds of miles in lorries to the river in question, they spectacularly got their bearings wrong by building the bridge over the River Cock. Once their masterpiece was finished, Clarkson and Hammond inspected their craftsmanship, with Jeremy pointing out that a local is crossing the bridge by using a racial slur.
That is a proud moment. But there's a on it.
The word is considered offensive and prompted the producer of the show, Andy Willman, to apologise. This incident, along with the next entry, led to Clarkson's final warning from the BBC. Number 2, Clarkson's nursery rhyme. Jeremy Clarkson says a lot of things and usually brushes controversy aside by saying more things. So when he apologises for something, you know he has made a mistake. In an unaired version of the Toyota GT86 and Subaru BRZ review, Clarkson tries to pick one by using the eeny meeny miny mo rhyme.
Eeny meeny miny mo, catch a teacher by his toe, when he squeals let him go, eeny meeny miny mo.
The aired version had him use the word teacher, but the original video surfaced which showed the 61-year-old mumbling the N-word instead. This caused many public figures to call for him to be fired, and it ultimately resulted in a final warning from the BBC regarding racist remarks, whilst Jeremy recorded a formal apology begging for forgiveness.
If you listen very carefully with the sound turned right up, it did appear that I'd actually used the word I was trying to obscure. I was mortified by this.
Number 1, insulting Mexico. Clarkson, Hammond and May have never been shy of using country stereotypes for humour, but sometimes they don't know when to stop.
Mexican car's just going to be a lazy...
During a news segment, they were discussing a new Mexican car, the Mastretta, and this led to the hosts to give a string of harmful stereotypes about Mexico.
They can't do food, the Mexicans, can they? Because it's all like sick with cheese on it.
After criticizing their food and work ethic, Clarkson said the ambassador wouldn't complain about their comments.
Just imagine waking up and remembering you're Mexican.
That'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant because you could just go straight back to sleep again.
In an ironic twist, the Mexican ambassador complained to the BBC for the xenophobic nature of the segment, with the broadcaster saying that national stereotyping is part of British humour, an apology that didn't impress comedian Steve Coogan, who called it pitiful. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.